Have you ever felt a spark inside you, a glimmer of something greater than yourself? That's your spiritual power, and it's been there all along, just waiting for you to notice it. Now, you might think spiritual power is all about complex rituals or hard-to-learn techniques, but here's the surprising truth. It's much simpler than that. It's about tapping into something that's already a part of you, a wellspring of strength and wisdom that's been hiding in plain sight. Imagine waking up every day feeling truly alive, connected to the world around you in a way you've never experienced before. Picture yourself facing life's challenges with a sense of calm and purpose, knowing that you have an inner resource that can guide you through any storm. That's what unlocking your spiritual power can do for you. It's not about gaining some magical ability. It's about uncovering the extraordinary potential that's been within you all along. But here's the catch. If you don't learn how to tap into this power, you might find yourself feeling lost, stuck, or unfulfilled. You might go through life sensing that there's something more, but never quite being able to reach it. It's like having a superpower, but never learning how to use it. On the flip side, when you do unlock your spiritual power, the changes can be amazing. You might discover a deep sense of peace that stays with you even when life gets tough. You could find yourself making decisions with greater clarity and confidence, as if you suddenly have access to a wise inner guide. And perhaps most importantly, you might uncover a sense of purpose that makes every day feel meaningful and worthwhile. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we're going to explore 5 simple yet powerful ways to unlock your spiritual power. These aren't complicated techniques that require years of practice. They're straightforward methods that anyone can use, starting right now. And the best part? I'm going to share a quick exercise at the end that you can try immediately to start feeling more connected to your inner spirit. But before we dive into those methods, let's talk about what spiritual power really is. When you hear the phrase spiritual power, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture a monk meditating on a mountaintop, or a guru with a long white beard dispensing wisdom. But the truth is, spiritual power is much more down-to-earth and accessible than that. At its core, spiritual power is the energy that connects us to something greater than ourselves. It's that feeling you get when you watch a beautiful sunset and suddenly feel at peace with the world. It's the sense of connection you experience when you help someone in need and feel your heart expand with compassion. It's the clarity that comes when you listen to your inner voice and make a decision that feels deeply right, even if you can't explain why. Spiritual power is different from physical or mental power. Physical power is about what your body can do, how fast you can run, how much you can lift. Mental power is about what your mind can do, solving problems, remembering facts, coming up with creative ideas. But spiritual power? That's about what your soul can do. It's about tapping into a deeper wisdom that goes beyond just your thoughts or your physical abilities. Let me give you an example of spiritual power in action. Imagine you're facing a tough decision at work. You've weighed all the pros and cons, you've asked for advice, but you still feel unsure. Then, one day, you take a walk in nature, and as you're surrounded by trees and fresh air, you suddenly feel a sense of calm wash over you. In that moment of quiet, the right decision becomes clear, not because you figured it out logically, but because you tapped into a deeper knowing. That's spiritual power at work. Or think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by life's challenges. Everything seemed to be going wrong, and you felt like you couldn't cope. But then you took a moment to sit quietly, focus on your breath, and connect with something bigger than yourself. Maybe you called it prayer, maybe meditation, or maybe you just thought of it as a moment of peace. Whatever you called it, you found strength you didn't know you had. You felt a sense of peace and resilience that helped you face your challenges with renewed energy. That, too, is spiritual power. The beautiful thing about spiritual power is that it's not something you need to acquire or earn. It's already within you. It's like a radio that's always playing beautiful music, but you've forgotten how to tune into the right station. Learning to unlock your spiritual power is really about learning to tune into that station, to tap into that wellspring of wisdom and strength that's always been there. Now, you might be wondering, If this power is already inside me, why can't I feel it all the time? That's a great question, and it brings us to the first way of unlocking your spiritual power: quieting your mind. In our busy, noisy world, our minds are often buzzing with thoughts, worries, and distractions. It's like trying to listen to a soft, gentle voice in the middle of a loud party. The voice is there, but you can't hear it over all the noise. Your spiritual power is like that soft voice, and all the mental chatter is like the noise of the party. Quieting your mind is about turning down the volume on that mental noise so you can hear the whispers of your spirit. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Quiet my mind? That sounds impossible. But don't worry, it's not about completely silencing your thoughts. It's about creating some space between them, some moments of calm in the storm of your mind. One simple way to start quieting your mind is through deep breathing. It's so simple, you can do it right now as you're listening to this video. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, feeling your belly expand. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, letting all the air out. Do this a few times, focusing all your attention on your breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest and belly. As you do this, you might notice thoughts popping into your head. That's okay. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath. It's like training a puppy. Every time it wanders off, you gently bring it back. With practice, you'll find it easier to stay focused on your breath, creating moments of quiet in your mind. Another way to quiet your mind is through short meditations. Now, don't let the word meditation intimidate you. It doesn't have to mean sitting cross-legged for hours. It can be as simple as taking 5 minutes out of your day to sit quietly and focus on something calming. You could focus on your breath, like we just did. Or you could try a guided meditation, where someone's voice leads you through a relaxing visualization. You might also find that certain activities naturally quiet your mind. For some people, it's going for a walk in nature. For others, it might be painting, gardening, or even washing dishes mindfully. The key is to find activities that allow you to focus on the present moment, letting go of worries about the past or future. As you practice quieting your mind, you might start to notice something interesting. In those moments of mental quiet, you might feel a sense of peace or a flash of insight. You might suddenly know the solution to a problem you've been struggling with, or feel a deep sense of connection to the world around you. These are all signs that you're starting to tap into your spiritual power. Remember, quieting your mind is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Don't get discouraged if your mind keeps wandering at first. That's totally normal. The more you practice, the easier it will become to find those moments of mental quiet. And in those quiet moments, you'll start to hear the whispers of your spiritual power more clearly. Now that we've talked about quieting your mind, let's move on to the second way of unlocking your spiritual power: connecting with nature. There's something magical about spending time in nature, isn't there? Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or just sitting in your backyard, being in nature has a way of making us feel more alive, more connected, more spiritual. That's because nature is one of the most powerful gateways to our spiritual power. Think about it. When you're surrounded by trees, or watching a sunset, or listening to the sound of waves on a beach, don't you feel a sense of awe? Don't you feel small, but in a good way, like you're part of something much bigger than yourself? That feeling is your spiritual power awakening. Nature has a way of putting our lives into perspective. When you're standing at the foot of a giant redwood tree that's been alive for centuries, suddenly your daily worries don't seem so big. When you're watching a flock of birds move in perfect harmony across the sky, you're reminded that there's a natural order to things, a flow to life that we're all part of. But here's the really cool thing. You don't need to travel to some exotic location or spend hours in the wilderness to connect with nature. There are simple ways to bring more nature into your daily life, no matter where you live. If you have a backyard or a balcony, try spending a few minutes outside each day. Feel the sun on your face. Listen to the birds. Watch the clouds move across the sky. If you live in a city, seek out parks or green spaces. Even a small patch of grass or a single tree can be a gateway to nature. You can also bring nature indoors. Houseplants are a great way to add a touch of nature to your living space. Caring for a plant can be a spiritual practice in itself, as you nurture another living thing and watch it grow. If you can't have plants, even pictures of nature can have a calming effect. Try changing your computer wallpaper to a beautiful nature scene, or put up some nature photographs in your home. Another powerful way to connect with nature is to simply pay attention to it. Notice the phases of the moon. Watch how the light changes as the sun moves across the sky. Observe how plants and trees change with the seasons. This kind of mindful observation helps you feel more in tune with the natural rhythms of the world. As you spend more time connecting with nature, you might start to notice some changes. You might feel more calm and centered. You might find it easier to put your problems into perspective. You might even start to feel a sense of guidance or inspiration coming from the natural world around you. This is your spiritual power growing stronger. Nature has a way of reminding us of our place in the grand scheme of things. It shows us that we're part of something much bigger than our individual selves. And when we tap into that connection, we tap into a wellspring of strength, wisdom, and peace. So, the next time you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or disconnected, try stepping outside. Take a deep breath of fresh air. Look up at the sky. Touch a tree. Smell a flower. Let nature remind you of the spiritual power that's always within you, waiting to be awakened. Now that we've explored how to quiet your mind and connect with nature, let's move on to the third way of unlocking your spiritual power: practicing gratitude. Gratitude might seem like a simple concept, but it's actually a powerful tool for unlocking your spiritual power. When you practice gratitude, you're not just saying thank you for the good things in your life. You're actually shifting your entire perspective, opening your heart, and creating space for more spiritual energy to flow into your life. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how different the world looks when you're in a bad mood versus when you're feeling happy and appreciative? When we're focused on what's wrong, what we don't have, or what's not working, our world can feel small, dark, and limited. But when we shift our focus to what we're grateful for, suddenly the world seems brighter, more open, more full of possibilities. That shift in perspective is the key to how gratitude unlocks your spiritual power. When you're grateful, you're acknowledging that there's good in your life, even if things aren't perfect. You're recognizing that you're part of something bigger than yourself, that you're supported and cared for by the world around you. This recognition opens you up to receiving more spiritual energy. So, how can you start practicing gratitude in your daily life? It's simpler than you might think. One easy way is to start a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for your morning cup of coffee, or for the smile of a stranger on the street, or for the comfortable bed you sleep in. The key is to really feel the gratitude as you write it down. Don't just go through the motions. Really let yourself experience the warmth and appreciation for these things in your life. Another way to practice gratitude is to make it part of your daily routine. For example, you could start each morning by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for before you even get out of bed. Or you could make it a habit to express gratitude to someone in your life each day: a family member, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger who did something kind for you. You can also practice gratitude in the moment. When something good happens, no matter how small, take a second to acknowledge it and feel grateful. Maybe the sun comes out after a rainy day, or you find a parking spot right away, or your favorite song comes on the radio. These little moments of gratitude can add up to a big shift in your overall perspective. As you make gratitude a regular part of your life, you might start to notice some changes. You might find yourself feeling more positive and optimistic. You might start to see opportunities and blessings that you didn't notice before. You might even find that more good things start coming into your life, as if your gratitude is attracting them. But perhaps the most powerful effect of gratitude is how it changes your relationship with the present moment. When you're focused on being grateful for what you have right now, you're not worrying about the future or regretting the past. You're fully present, fully alive in this moment. And that present moment awareness is a key aspect of spiritual power. Gratitude also has a way of putting our problems into perspective. When we're focused on what we're grateful for, our challenges often don't seem as overwhelming. we're reminded that even in difficult times, there's still good in our lives. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying our problems, but rather approaching them from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Moreover, gratitude can deepen our connections with others. When we express appreciation to the people in our lives, it strengthens our relationships. It creates a positive cycle of giving and receiving that can enhance our sense of belonging and interconnectedness. Another important aspect of spiritual power. Remember, practicing gratitude isn't about forcing yourself to be positive all the time or ignoring the challenges in your life. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even in the midst of difficulties. It's about recognizing that life is a mixture of light and shadow, and choosing to turn your face towards the light. As you continue to practice gratitude, you may find that it becomes more than just a practice. It becomes a way of life. You start to naturally notice and appreciate the good things in your life. You become more aware of the abundance that surrounds you. And in doing so, you open yourself up more and more to the flow of spiritual energy that's always available to you. So, take a moment right now. What are you grateful for in this moment? Let yourself really feel that gratitude. Notice how it makes you feel in your body, in your heart, in your mind. That feeling of warmth, openness, and appreciation, that's your spiritual power growing stronger. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to help someone? That warm glow you get when you've made a difference in someone's life, no matter how small? Well, there's a reason for that. Helping others isn't just a nice thing to do. It's actually a powerful way to boost your own spiritual power. When we help others, we step outside of ourselves. We forget our own problems for a while and focus on someone else's needs. This shift in focus is like opening a door to our spiritual selves. It reminds us that we're all connected, that what affects one of us affects all of us in some way. Think about a time when you helped someone. Maybe you held the door open for a stranger carrying heavy bags. Maybe you listened to a friend who was going through a tough time. Or maybe you volunteered at a local charity. How did you feel afterwards? Chances are, you felt good. You felt a sense of purpose, a sense that you were part of something bigger than yourself. That feeling is your spiritual power growing stronger. But here's the thing. You don't need to do big, grand gestures to help others and boost your spiritual power. Small acts of kindness in your daily life can be just as powerful. In fact, these small acts can add up to create a huge positive impact, both in the world around you and in your own spiritual growth. So, how can you start helping others more in your daily life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by looking for opportunities to be kind. Hold the door open for someone. Smile at a stranger. Let someone go ahead of you in line at the grocery store. These small acts might seem insignificant, but they can brighten someone's day and help you tap into your spiritual power. You can also look for ways to help in your community. Is there a local charity you could volunteer with? Could you donate some clothes or food to a shelter? Maybe you could offer to help an elderly neighbor with their yard work. The possibilities are endless, and the more you look for ways to help, the more opportunities you'll find. Another powerful way to help others is simply to be there for the people in your life. Listen when someone needs to talk. Offer support when a friend is going through a tough time. Celebrate others' successes as if they were your own. These acts of emotional support can be just as important as physical help. As you make helping others a regular part of your life, you might start to notice some changes. You might feel more connected to the people around you. You might find a greater sense of purpose in your daily life. You might even notice that your own problems don't seem as big or overwhelming when you're focused on helping others. But perhaps the most powerful effect of helping others is how it changes your perspective on life. When you help others, you're reminded of your own strength and capabilities. You see that you have the power to make a positive difference in the world. This realization is a key aspect of spiritual power. Helping others also has a way of putting our own lives into perspective. When we see the challenges others are facing, we often gain a new appreciation for what we have. This doesn't mean comparing our lives to others in a negative way, but rather recognizing our own blessings and feeling grateful for them. Moreover, helping others can create a positive cycle in your life. When you help someone, they're more likely to help others in turn. You create a ripple effect of kindness and compassion that spreads far beyond your initial act. And in doing so, you contribute to creating a more compassionate, connected world, which is ultimately what spiritual power is all about. Remember, helping others isn't about sacrificing your own well-being. It's not about giving until you have nothing left. Instead, it's about recognizing that by lifting others up, we lift ourselves up too. It's about understanding that we're all in this together, and that by helping others, we help ourselves grow spiritually. So, take a moment right now. Think about one small way you could help someone today. Maybe it's sending a supportive message to a friend. Maybe it's picking up litter in your neighborhood. Whatever it is, commit to doing it. And as you do, pay attention to how it makes you feel. Notice the sense of connection, purpose, and spiritual growth that comes from this simple act of helping. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something? A sense that you just knew what the right choice was, even if you couldn't explain why. That's your intuition speaking, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have for unlocking your spiritual power. Intuition is like a quiet voice inside you that knows things your conscious mind doesn't. It's not about logic or reason. It's about a deeper kind of knowing. Some people call it their inner voice or their gut feeling. Whatever you call it, your intuition is closely linked to your spiritual power. Think of your intuition as your spiritual GPS. Just like a GPS can guide you to your destination even when you don't know the way, your intuition can guide you through life, helping you make decisions that align with your highest good and your spiritual path. But here's the thing. In our busy, noisy world, it's easy to lose touch with our intuition. We're often so focused on what we think we should do, or what others tell us to do, that we forget to listen to that quiet voice inside us. Learning to trust your intuition is a key part of unlocking your spiritual power. So, how can you start listening to and trusting your intuition more? First, it's important to understand what intuition feels like for you. For some people, it's a feeling in their gut. For others, it might be a sudden thought that pops into their head, or a sense of clarity about a situation. Pay attention to how your intuition speaks to you. One way to start tuning into your intuition is to practice listening to it in small, low-stakes situations. For example, when you're trying to decide what to have for lunch, pause for a moment and ask your intuition what it wants. Don't overthink it, just notice what your first instinct is. As you practice this with small decisions, you'll get better at recognizing and trusting your intuitive voice. Another powerful way to connect with your intuition is through quiet reflection or meditation. When you quiet your mind, you create space for your intuition to speak. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly and ask your intuition for guidance. You might be surprised at the insights that come to you in these quiet moments. It's also important to pay attention to your body when you're trying to tap into your intuition. Our bodies often know things before our minds do. Notice how you feel physically when you're making a decision. Do you feel tense and uncomfortable, or relaxed and at ease? These physical sensations can be important clues from your intuition. As you start to listen to your intuition more, you might face some challenges. Sometimes your intuition might tell you to do something that doesn't make logical sense, or that goes against what others are telling you to do. This is where trust comes in. Remember, your intuition has access to information that your conscious mind doesn't. It can see the bigger picture in a way that logic alone can't. That doesn't mean you should ignore logic completely. Of course, intuition and reason can work together. Think of intuition as another source of information to consider along with the facts and logic of a situation. Often, the best decisions come from a combination of intuitive guidance and rational thinking. As you practice listening to and trusting your intuition, you might start to notice some changes in your life. You might find that you make decisions more easily and confidently. You might feel a greater sense of alignment between your choices and your true self. You might even start to experience more coincidences or synchronicities in your life. Those moments when everything seems to fall into place perfectly. These are all signs that you're tapping into your spiritual power through your intuition. Remember, your intuition is a direct line to your higher self, to the part of you that's connected to something greater. When you trust your intuition, you're trusting in that connection. But perhaps the most powerful effect of trusting your intuition is how it changes your relationship with yourself. When you listen to your inner voice, you're honoring your own wisdom. You're saying to yourself, I trust you. I believe in your ability to guide me. This self-trust is a crucial aspect of spiritual power. Trusting your intuition also helps you live more authentically. Instead of always looking outside yourself for answers or approval, you learn to turn inward and trust your own guidance. This can lead to a greater sense of peace and contentment as you align more closely with your true self and your spiritual path. Remember, learning to trust your intuition is a process. It takes time and practice. There might be times when you second-guess yourself, or when following your intuition leads to unexpected results. That's okay. Each experience is an opportunity to learn and grow, to fine-tune your intuitive abilities. So, take a moment right now. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Ask your intuition a question. It can be about anything in your life. Now, listen. Don't try to force an answer. Just be open to whatever comes. That first thought or feeling you get, that's your intuition speaking. The more you practice this, the clearer and stronger that intuitive voice will become. As we've explored these different ways of unlocking your spiritual power, quieting your mind, connecting with nature, practicing gratitude, helping others, and trusting your intuition, you might have noticed something. These aren't separate, isolated practices. They're all interconnected, all part of the same journey towards greater spiritual awareness and power. When you quiet your mind, you create space to hear your intuition more clearly. When you connect with nature, you often feel a sense of gratitude for the beauty around you. When you help others, you might find yourself feeling more connected to the world, which in turn can deepen your spiritual experiences in nature. It's all linked, all part of the same beautiful tapestry of spiritual growth. This interconnectedness is a key aspect of spiritual power. As you continue on your spiritual journey, you'll likely find that growth in one area naturally leads to growth in others. It's like a positive spiral, where each step forward makes the next step easier and more powerful. But here's an important thing to remember. Unlocking your spiritual power isn't about reaching some final destination. It's not about becoming perfect or achieving some ultimate state of enlightenment. Instead, it's about the journey itself. It's about growing, learning, and becoming more aware each day. Your spiritual journey is unique to you. While the practices we've discussed can be powerful tools, how you use them and what you experience will be entirely your own. Some practices might resonate with you more than others. You might find new ways to tap into your spiritual power that we haven't even mentioned here. That's all part of the beautiful, personal nature of spiritual growth. As you continue on this journey, be patient and kind with yourself. Spiritual growth isn't always easy. There might be times when you feel stuck or when you struggle to connect with your spiritual power. That's normal and okay. Remember, even those moments are part of the journey, opportunities for growth and learning. Also, don't forget to celebrate your progress along the way. Notice the small changes, the moments of peace you find when you quiet your mind, the joy you feel when you help someone, the sense of wonder you experience in nature. These are all signs that you're tapping into your spiritual power, even if you don't always feel it dramatically. Remember, your spiritual power isn't something outside of you that you need to find or earn. It's already within you, waiting to be awakened and nurtured. The practices we've discussed are simply ways to remove the barriers that might be blocking that power, to clear the path for it to flow more freely in your life. As you unlock more of your spiritual power, you might find that your entire perspective on life shifts. You might start to see challenges as opportunities for growth. You might feel a deeper sense of connection to the world around you. You might experience more joy, peace, and purpose in your daily life. But perhaps most importantly, unlocking your spiritual power can help you become more authentically yourself. As you connect with that deeper part of you, you might find yourself living more in alignment with your true values and desires. You might feel more confident in who you are and what you have to offer the world. This journey of unlocking your spiritual power is ongoing. Each day brings new opportunities to quiet your mind, to connect with nature, to practice gratitude, to help others, and to trust your intuition. Each moment is a chance to tap into that wellspring of wisdom and strength within you. So, As you go forward from here, carry these practices with you. Make them part of your daily life. But most importantly, stay open to the journey. Stay curious about what you might discover about yourself and the world around you. Your spiritual power is vast and beautiful, with endless potential for growth and discovery. Remember, you have everything you need within you right now to start this journey. Your spiritual power is always there, waiting for you to tap into it. So take that first step. Quiet your mind for a few moments. Look at the world around you with gratitude. Reach out to help someone. Listen to that quiet voice of intuition inside you. Your journey to unlocking your spiritual power starts now, in this very moment. Now that we've explored several ways to unlock your spiritual power, it's important to remember that spirituality is a deeply personal journey. What works for one person might not resonate with another, and that's perfectly okay. Your path to spiritual growth is as unique as you are. Think about the practices we've discussed: quieting your mind, connecting with nature, practicing gratitude, helping others, and trusting your intuition. Which ones speak to you the most? Which ones make you feel most connected to your inner self and the world around you? These are the practices you might want to focus on as you begin your journey. But don't be afraid to explore beyond what we've talked about here. Maybe you find spiritual power through creative expression, painting, writing, dancing, or making music. Perhaps you connect with your spiritual self through physical activities like yoga or tai chi. Some people find spiritual growth through studying religious or philosophical texts, while others discover it in the simple acts of daily life. The key is to stay open and curious. Pay attention to what makes you feel alive, centered, and connected. These are clues pointing you towards your unique spiritual path. And remember, your path may change over time as you grow and evolve. What resonates with you today might be different from what speaks to you a year from now, and that's all part of the journey. As you explore different practices, try keeping a spiritual journal. Write down your experiences, your thoughts, and your feelings. What practices made you feel most connected to your spiritual power? What challenges did you face? What insights did you gain? This journal can be a powerful tool for self-reflection and growth. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to connect with your spiritual power. The only wrong approach is one that causes harm to yourself or others. As long as you're coming from a place of love, compassion, and a genuine desire for growth, you're on the right track. Don't be discouraged if you don't feel an immediate, dramatic change. Spiritual growth is often subtle and gradual. It's the small, consistent steps that lead to profound transformations over time. Trust the process and be patient with yourself. As you embark on your journey to unlock your spiritual power, it's important to be prepared for challenges along the way. These obstacles aren't setbacks. They're opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. One common challenge is doubt. You might find yourself questioning whether you're really experiencing spiritual growth or if it's all in your imagination. This is normal and even healthy. A bit of skepticism can keep you grounded. When doubt arises, return to your practices. Notice how you feel when you engage in them. Even if you can't explain it logically, trust in the positive changes you observe in yourself. Another obstacle you might face is inconsistency. Life gets busy, and it's easy to let spiritual practices slip. When this happens, be gentle with yourself. Don't view it as failure, but as a natural part of the journey. Simply acknowledge it and return to your practices when you can. Even small, consistent efforts can lead to significant growth over time. You might also encounter resistance from others who don't understand your spiritual journey. Remember, not everyone will resonate with or understand your path, and that's okay. You don't need to justify your practices to anyone. Stay true to what feels right for you, while respecting others' beliefs. Sometimes, the biggest obstacle can be our own expectations. We might expect dramatic spiritual experiences or instant transformation. When these don't happen, we might feel discouraged. Remember that spiritual growth often happens in subtle ways. The small, everyday moments of peace, clarity, or connection are just as valuable as any dramatic spiritual experience. Another challenge you might face is integrating your spiritual growth with your everyday life. You might find a disconnect between the peace you feel during meditation and the stress of your daily routine. This is where the real work of spiritual growth happens, in bringing that sense of peace and connection into all aspects of your life. It's a gradual process, but with time and practice, you'll find that your spiritual power begins to infuse all areas of your life. When facing any obstacle on your spiritual path, remember to return to the basics. Quiet your mind, connect with nature, practice gratitude, help others, and trust your intuition. These simple practices can help you navigate even the toughest challenges on your spiritual journey. As you become more comfortable with the basic practices for unlocking your spiritual power, you might feel ready to deepen your journey. Here are some advanced techniques you can explore. Extended meditation. Try gradually increasing the length of your meditation sessions. As you sit for longer periods, you might access deeper states of consciousness and gain profound insights. Mindfulness in daily life. Practice bringing full awareness to everyday activities like eating, walking, or even washing dishes. This can help you maintain a constant connection to your spiritual self throughout the day. Journaling for self-discovery. Go beyond simply recording your experiences. Use writing prompts to explore your beliefs, values, and spiritual questions. This can lead to powerful self-realizations. Energy work. Explore practices like Reiki, Qigong, or other energy healing techniques. These can help you become more aware of and work with the subtle energies in and around you. Fasting or dietary changes. Some people find that changing their diet or practicing occasional fasting can heighten their spiritual awareness. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes. Silent retreats. Consider attending a silent retreat where you can dive deep into your spiritual practices without the distractions of daily life. Service projects. Take your practice of helping others to the next level by committing to long-term service projects in your community. Dream work. Pay attention to your dreams and consider keeping a dream journal. Dreams can often provide spiritual insights and guidance. Remember, these advanced techniques are not necessary for spiritual growth. The simple practices we discussed earlier are powerful on their own. These advanced techniques are simply options for those who feel called to explore further. As you deepen your practice, you might find that your perception of spiritual power itself changes. You might begin to see it less as something you're trying to unlock or achieve, and more as a natural state of being that you're remembering and returning to. You might also notice that the boundaries between your spiritual practice and your everyday life begin to blur. Rather than being something separate that you do at specific times, spirituality becomes a lens through which you view and interact with the world. As we come to the end of our exploration of spiritual power, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. From learning to quiet your mind to connecting with nature, from practicing gratitude to helping others, from trusting your intuition to overcoming obstacles and deepening your practice, you've embarked on a profound journey of self-discovery and growth. Remember, unlocking your spiritual power isn't about reaching a final destination. It's about embracing the journey itself, with all its ups and downs, challenges and triumphs. It's about becoming more fully yourself, more connected to the world around you, and more in tune with the deeper wisdom that resides within you. As you continue on this path, keep in mind that your spiritual journey is uniquely yours. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to spirituality. Trust yourself, listen to your inner guidance, and don't be afraid to explore different practices and beliefs until you find what resonates with you. Be patient with yourself. Spiritual growth often happens in small, subtle ways. Celebrate the little moments of peace, clarity, and connection. Over time, these moments add up to profound transformation. Stay open and curious. The universe is vast and full of wonder, and there's always more to learn and discover about yourself and the world around you. Let your spiritual journey be an adventure of continuous growth and exploration. Remember that your spiritual power is not separate from you. It is you. It's your truest, deepest self. As you continue to unlock this power, you're really just uncovering and embracing more of who you truly are. Finally, don't forget to share your light with the world. As you grow spiritually, you have the power to positively impact those around you. By living authentically and compassionately, You can inspire others and contribute to creating a more loving, connected world. Your journey to unlocking your spiritual power starts anew each day, with each breath, with each moment. Embrace it fully, with an open heart and an open mind. Trust in your own inner wisdom, and know that you have everything you need within you to live a spiritually rich and fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual power. May your journey be filled with wonder, growth, and profound connection. Remember, your spiritual power is always there, waiting for you to tap into it. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and step forward into the beautiful adventure of your spiritual journey.